All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about Steve Perry, Journey, Neal, Schon. Yeah, uh, a video for the Journey junkies here in real time for just a couple of real people like you there and me here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Please, if you think of it, buy me a coffee, Patreon, YouTube memberships, and PJ Rock super chats. Want to thank the great Tullian Chavidjian for being a guest on the show today. He was awesome, a diehard Pink Floyd fan, a fanatic, and hopefully I'll have him back at some point to talk about Sammy Hagar going up against David Lee Roth. All right, that'll be the next debate, and I think he and I are in agreement on that, like we were with David Gilmour. All right, so big news. If you're a Journey fan, they are touring next year, and you've gone without your Journey fix for quite some time now. But typically, when Journey starts to talk about stuff, they have to talk about Steve Perry. And that's because interviewers like Eddie Trunk, who interviewed Neal Schon the other day, must have asked, hey, do you talk to Steve Perry? And this is what Neal Schon said. I reached out. I wrote him an email. And I'm sure it's still his email because, he reached back to me about a year ago through that email. I invited him to a Giants game, San Francisco Giants. Remember, Steve Perry used to lead the crowd in just very robust versions of Don't Stop Believin'. That was his team. So, pretty good idea by Neal to invite Steve Perry to the baseball game. He said here, because I knew that he was a fan and I was going to be there. So I thought it would be cool just to catch up and hang out and watch a ball game. And I never heard anything back. Ouch. So, you can't keep chasing something that's not interested in, he says, correlating with you. Correlating. Yeah, he's not, that's Neal Schon talking. All right. So Neal uses interesting words from time to time. But to generate interest in this band and their upcoming tour, fans still need to talk about Steve Perry. And several fans will just post things like, they probably will post it on this video, no Perry, no Journey. Perry left the band, what, in 1997 officially? Something like that, 98? Regardless, Neal Schon continues to wish his old friend well and anything that he might do. I think we've seen that he wants to still create, and more would be great, he says. I was like totally behind his Traces album. When he came out with his album, I thought there were some really good songs on it. I'd like to see him create some more. As a side note here, Sean says he's got a lot of new ideas for new material with Journey, but he says basically you have to get everybody in a room to do that stuff and throw it around and see what happens. He says we get very inspired once we get in a room together and actually rehearse. Yeah, that didn't happen on the last Journey album at all. And you could hear that in the production value of that album. There were some decent songs on it, but I don't know. There was something just not right with the production on it, and it's hard to really get your finger on it. Someone told me that Neal has a certain way of listening to things now, and because of that, the album came out the way it came out. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever get in the same room together, like he and Jonathan Cain hanging out together. The big missed question is, how's your relationship with Jonathan Cain, Neal? How you guys doing? You getting along okay? How are those lawsuits and how's that American Express? Now, I couldn't ask the American Express card question, but I could certainly ask about John. He should have asked him, hey, what's going on with Jonathan Cain? So it's kind of the same old, same old. The band is back already. promoting what they're going to do next year. It's October of 2025. We've got a long way to go before Journey returns to the road. And apparently he wants to recruit Bryan Adams at some point. That's what he said to everybody yesterday, or at least in the first part of the interview. And I don't know, folks. I mean, I guess if you really love Journey, it's a big deal no matter what gets discussed. And Steve Perry, always the topic of conversation to get people talking about Journey. So it's pretty good publicity. Like I always say, even bad publicity is publicity, and it gets people interested in the band Journey. Plus, it's a really slow day in the world of classic rock. So if you've got a little bit of a Journey thing going on, that's big news for people, and people tend to want to know about it. So there you have it. Another video. Not my best work, but it's what it is. You know, we've got Neal Schon, we got Steve Perry, and not much else. They don't talk. That's the bottom line. And they haven't really been talking since what, 1998. So that's the video. That's it. That's all I got.